Oh, that gives me hope, folks. That gives me hope. That's the next generation coming up behind us. So listen, we are partway through the program, and I know you all have been sitting here. You've given up a beautiful afternoon to join us, and we've been talking about action, and I want to just stretch our muscles a little bit and practice activism. So can I bring the house lights up, please? So what we have here this evening, a little bit more, I want to see the whole audience. I want the audience to see itself. I want you to see what a great room we have, and I want you to really experience what it feels like to be part of a movement. And I'm going to ask a couple things from you. Can you bring my lights down just a teeny bit so I can see the audience, please? And the lights up. Great. Perfect. Thank you. Well, what we just experienced here was the passion of a student. And I'm going to ask, historically, one of the most vocal groups that has really leaned into the environmental movement have been students. So I'm going to ask a favor. Could I have all students in the room please stand up? All you guys, come on. And I want to hear you make a lot of noise, so louder. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. So what happens when students make noise? Well, I'll tell you. Recently, all 9 UC campuses, thanks to, in large part, the pressure from students, committed to 100% renewable energy long before the state's goals. In fact, by 2025. So they are leading the way. Students are leading the way. And last year, actually, the UCSB began to divest from dirty energies. Now there are over 1,000 churches, nonprofits, and universities and schools taking this brave action, and most of that's just been in the last 10 years. That's the power of this movement, and that's the power of students, so thank you. High school students and parents, I want you to take note. We keep all of that energy and we'll be applying it over the next year or so. We are going to be calling on the Santa Barbara Unified School District and Goleta Unified School District and others to green schools. So thank you, students. Okay, let's try another one. I'd like anyone who considers themselves to be a member or a partner of any of the organizations that were represented here today. So Get Oil Out, Community Environmental Council, Environmental Defense Center, any of the organizations that were out in the hall, Greenpeace or Sierra Club. If you consider yourself a partner or a member, please stand up. All right. Thank you. And I want to remind you of something that Mike Brune said, and that is of all the folks who couldn't be here today, all the folks that you are representing, so your larger networks. That's the power of this movement, and this is what happens when your voice is amplified through organizations like ours. In the last year, we have successfully convinced the Santa Barbara Transit District to set goals to move towards 100% electric buses long before the state. And recently, when President Trump signaled that he would be pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord, working through groups like the ones that I just mentioned, we got results. And now there are over 100 cities throughout the country that have set goals for 100% renewable energy, including the state of California, but many much ahead of the states. And those include 6 cities on the Central Coast, including the city of Santa Barbara and the city of Goleta, and that's because of you. All right, I'm going to do one more exercise. This one's a little more complicated, all right? So if you own a bike and you've used it in the last month, please stand up and stay standing. Stand up and use it, stay standing. Oh, nice room. If you own an efficient car, a highly efficient car, an electric vehicle or a hybrid, please stand up. Please join and stand up. If you don't own a car at all, you get extra points. You can stand on your seat. Please stand, come on. Okay? If you have solar on your home or your business, please stand up. And again, triple points if you are actually coupling some of those things and you're driving on sunshine, electric vehicle, and solar on your home. So wave your arms if you're one of those people. All right. All right. If you have made an effort to reduce single-use plastics from your life, so bags or bottles, please stand up. If you have voted, please stand up. And if you have eaten a locally grown vegetable anytime in the last month, please stand up. By now, you should all be standing. Right on. There, if you are sitting, you're a curmudgeon. So all right. That's the power, folks. You can be seated. So when we do these things, when we eat local and we reduce our footprint and we reduce the amount of crap coming into our homes and we connect with nature, those are the types of things that allow us and open us up to be climate heroes rather than climate villains. And that's this room. So what the Community Environmental Council does is we inspire that personal and collective action. And over the next couple of years, this really kicks off for us a season of 50th anniversaries. We will be celebrating the anniversary for our organization and the anniversary for Earth Day, which we organize. On the screen behind you, you'll see our website, and that I invite you to please go to our website and join up for our action alerts and e-newsletters if you haven't already. And over the next couple of years, again, we'll be talking about things that we all can do to respond to local impacts of climate change and be bringing forth some of those solutions. I want to tell you one more story. A couple of years ago, after the inauguration, the last inauguration, take a moment, take a breath. I found myself sitting in a late evening city council meeting. And I found myself, I was thinking, oh, gosh, how many nights has it been since I had dinner with my husband? And how long will this meeting go? And this is really, really good and really important. And I was thinking to myself, a couple of weeks ago, I was out in the hall, in the streets, actually, with many of you, little pink hat, chanting, "This is what democracy looks like." But on that night in front of the city council, I was thinking to myself, this is what democracy looks like. And I say that because that's the kind of action that we need and that we expect and that we're hoping to receive from you. To show up to city council meetings. Thank you for those of you who have done that in the last year, who showed up and made a council meeting around bicycle master planning to be the most packed council meeting that they had ever experienced. When we show up to school districts, when we show up to MTD meetings at 9 a.m., that's really what the power of what we can do, and that's how we're going to turn the page from the history of fossil fuel development into the future that we want. So thank you very much.